I had my business at English River, which is halfway to Sioux Lookout, and Sioux Lookout used to be the biggest and busiest airport in the world. Now, not many people know that.
It's hard to believe now, isn't it?
That is right. But because of the El Dorado mining, and everything had to be flown. We didn't have any roads and no railroad going to Northwest Territories. Everything had to be flown, and it was all out of Sioux Lookout, and that's why it was the biggest in the world.
Did you travel, fly around Northwestern Ontario at that time?
No, I didn't. When I was in the business, we used the flying companies in Ignace, and we flew in connection with fishing, but it was all through Ignace, and I didn't have any desire to go into the aviation business. I was too busy as it was.
But you did go into the aviation business eventually when you became involved with the elementary flying training school.
Yes.
Can you tell us about how you got into that and what you did there?
Well, I was working in Red Rock, Ontario, and when the war started, I quit my job and came to town and went to go to the Navy. I went in to join up with the Navy, and I was astounded when they wouldn't take me. I was flabbergasted. I was just all set to go in the Navy. My brother-in-law was in it and his relatives. But anyway, as I say, I was in Red Rock. We come up to the Navy. They turned me down. And after that, the only thing I could think about was going to Fort William because they were starting up the school. So I got in the lineup of the men looking for a job at number 2 EFTS. And it was a big long lineup, and I was a little wee spot in the middle of the lineup. But Heck Dougal saw me in there, and he knew that I was a mechanic from the ground up, and he just pointed at me and beckoned me out and took me into the office, and I signed up before any of the others. So that's how I got into the school.
And you in your book you mention the fact that you were an automobile, a car mechanic, and the aviation mechanics weren't too keen on car mechanics. They thought they didn't know how to deal with aviation.
Yes, I almost fought another war, because once I got in there, when they saw my tools, they just laughed, and they wouldn't talk to me even. Some of them wouldn't talk. They didn't want to have anything to do with me, and until I had to get my foot in the door some way, and I saw a compactor, a roller compactor being delivered to the airport. And I looked up the chief flying instructor and went and asked him if I could assemble a thing. I said I would do it if he could give me 2 men, because I had all the tools. And he was thrilled to think that he was going to get this done, so he immediately got the 2 men, and I assembled that, and my foot was in the door then. And the chief flying instructor went up in the morning, almost daily, for a weather check. And one morning he called, "Brown, get a parachute." So I got a chute and went up with him. And he did everything that plane would do and more. I looked over the side. They had the ambulance out there, the fire truck, all the crew from the air school, from the flying school, yes. All the crew were out there watching, as well as the students taking the courses. They were enjoying the show as much as I was. But we really went through everything. When we come down, this officer commanding